This story was taken from a message board and is not verified.
So ever since I was little, about 5 or 6 years old, I had these nightmares about a short lady with no face that looked like she had a black head veil. She came from the mirror next to the entrance door to my room. And she would always try to get my sister, but she never touched me. In the beginning, I would only see her in my dreams, but I could feel her in the hallway where the mirror is. I was absolutely terrified of going to the bathroom at night and of all the mirrors in the house. But my parents wrote it off to a child's imagination for the longest time and were annoyed with my irrational panic of being in the hallway or walking by mirrors. This went on for a long time, and sometimes being too scared to fall asleep, I would go completely under the covers and wait till morning. I became less scared as I grew, and when I would have a nightmare and see her looking at me, I would just turn and go back to sleep. When I was about 10 and my sister was about 6 or 7, we shared a room and her bed looked at the door while mine was by the wall. She started having the same nightmares and seeing the lady looking at her from the hallway. This led to us sleeping with the door closed and never going to the bathroom at night alone or looking into mirrors in the dark. Even taking the TV out of our room because it was reflective when it was off. And just overall being terrified of the hallway. We would sometimes even find the door open in the morning when we woke up, even though we would close it every night. As my sister started seeing her, I pretty much stopped, but I still felt uneasy in the hallway and around mirrors at night. And I feel the same to this day. My sister doesn't remember having any recent nightmares, but she often talks in her sleep, and she always says the same thing like, "Please don't touch me, leave me alone, and stop looking at me." She never remembers her dreams when she says those things. It used to freak me out at first, but I got used to hearing it, and after a while I just ignored it. After some time, my sister and I started joking about the ghost lady being lonely and wanting to hang out with us, and we both stopped being so scared of encountering her. We pretty much stopped discussing her for some time now, and we haven't seen her in a while. But 2 days ago, my father woke us up at 6 a.m., asking what the ghost we saw as kids looked like. We told him about the darkness in the face and about the head cover, but never mentioned her height. He pointed exactly how tall she was and said he'd seen her by the side of his bed just staring, and after a few seconds she vanished. Of course, my sister and I were a little spooked, but also excited because he finally believed that our fears weren't irrational, and we got some reassurance that we weren't just dreaming it. We told him she never touched us and she just stares, and if it bothers him to just close the door and turn away from the mirror in his room. My parents have a huge mirror in their closet facing the left side of the bed. He said we should just break the mirror and get rid of it. I said leave it and maybe put some holy water on it. But then he said he'd just toss it out. Last night, he woke us all up with screams. And when he calmed down, he said he felt like someone climbed into the side of his bed and pushed down the side of his legs. When he woke up, he saw something on top of him. And when he screamed, the shadow and the pressure disappeared. He was never religious, but he washed his face with holy water this morning, prayed, and he wants to get rid of the mirror that I've been saying is the lady's home since I was a kid. I'm afraid that she came for him because he threatened to get rid of the mirror. Also, I'm worried if he breaks the mirror, she will become angry and might somehow hurt us. I'm trying to get him to leave the mirror and just not threaten it anymore. Has anyone had experience with something like this? It's beyond bizarre. It's 3 a.m.